without a plan. Your Connect. Marcus always has more than he needs, and one afternoon he offers you a quarter-ounce to flip because he is tired of people texting him when he is busy and you are around more than anyone else, and the logic is that simple. No pitch, no business proposal, just a quarter-ounce in a bag and the suggestion that you could make $40 on it if you moved it to the right people. You know the right people. You are 18 and in college, and the right people are literally everyone around you. You sell it in 2 days. $40 profit sitting in your hand, and the transaction felt like nothing. Like passing something from one person to another and receiving something back. No drama, no danger. No moment where anything felt like a line being crossed because the people you sold to are your friends, and your friends smoke weed the same way people drink beer, and nobody in this transaction feels like a criminal. You text Marcus that you are ready for another one. He sends you a half ounce this time. You move it in 4 days, and the profit is $80, and $80 at 18 when you have no job and rent coming and a phone bill overdue is not nothing. $80 is a problem solved. $80 is the weekend covered. $80 is proof that this works. You ask Marcus where he gets his supply. He looks at you for a moment. Then he gives you a number. Level 2. The operation. Within 3 months, you have cut Marcus out of the equation entirely and you have your own Connect. A quiet man named Devin who operates out of a house 40 minutes away and sells in quantities that make Marcus look like a hobby. You buy in ounces now, sometimes 2 at a time. You have a scale, small digital, accurate to 1/10 of a gram, because accuracy is the difference between making money and giving it away, and you are not in this to give anything away. You bag everything yourself at your kitchen table late at night when your flatmate is asleep. Grams, 2 grams, eighths, the occasional quarter for the heavier smokers who text you every week like clockwork. Your customer list has 43 people on it, and you know every single one of them personally. That is the thing about weed dealing at this level that nobody tells you. It is deeply social. Your customers are not strangers. They are your course mates and your friends' friends, and the guy from your building who knocked on your door one evening. Because someone told him you were the person to ask. You know their names and what they study and what they are stressed about, and you smoke with half of them when you drop off, because dropping off at this level is never just dropping off. You are making somewhere between $400 and $600 a week, depending on the month. It is not life-changing money, but it is more than any job you could get right now, and it requires approximately 6 hours of your actual time, which leaves the rest of the time for lectures you attend less and less frequently. Devin calls you reliable. This is the highest compliment available in this world, and you understand that without being told. Level 3. The customers. The customer base teaches you things no economics course ever would. Your student customers are the easiest. They text on Friday afternoon, they always want the same thing, they always have the money ready, and they are grateful in a way that makes the transaction feel almost wholesome. They are buying stress relief and social lubricant and a way to make a bad week feel manageable, and they are not complicated about any of it. Then there are the older customers, people in their late 20s and 30s who found you through the network. A nurse who buys every 2 weeks like paying a bill, same amount, same time, never any drama. An accountant who texts in full sentences and always apologizes for asking like you are doing him a personal favor. A builder who buys an ounce at a time and you have no idea what he does with it and you do not ask. These customers are your favorites. Clean transactions. People who have money and spend it without making it complicated. Then there are the others. The ones who text at 2 in the morning asking if you are around. The ones who are always $10 short and promise to sort it next time, and next time is never sorted. The ones who buy small amounts too frequently and have eyes that do not sit right when you see them. And that thing you notice about their eyes, you file away without examining, because examining it produces a question you do not want to answer. You have a rule about not selling to people who are clearly in a bad way. You break the rule twice in the first month. Then you stop counting how many times you break it because counting is its own kind of examination and you are not ready to examine it. Level 4, the upgrade. 6 months in Devin introduces you to his supplier. This is not something that happens casually. Devin has been watching you for 6 months and the watching has produced a conclusion, and the conclusion is that you are trustworthy in the specific way that trustworthy means in this world, which is reliable, discreet, and not stupid. These 3 qualities together are rarer than you would think, and when Devin's supplier sits across from you in a kitchen in a part of the city you have never been to before and explains what he can offer, you understand that the introduction is a significant thing. The supplier's name is never given, and you do not ask for it. He is somewhere in his mid-40s, ordinary looking, the kind of man you would not look at twice in a supermarket. He explains the new arrangement with the efficiency of someone who has had this conversation many times. You take weight now, not ounces, pounds. The price per unit drops significantly when you buy at this level, and the margin when you break it down becomes considerably more interesting than anything Devin was offering. You need money up front that you do not entirely have. You front half of it and owe the rest on delivery of the next batch. This is called going on tick, and it is standard practice at this level, and it is also the mechanism by which you are now formally and financially connected to something larger than a quarter ounce in a bag on a Tuesday afternoon. You move the first pound in 11 days. The profit is real enough that you count it twice. Level 5. The weight. A year in and the operation looks nothing like the kitchen table and the digital scale and the 43 people on your phone. You have 3 people working under you now. Not employees exactly, an arrangement. They move the street-level retail and take a cut, and you manage the supply and the money and the relationship with the man whose name you still do not know. You do not go to customers anymore. The customers go to your people. You are a step removed from the transaction, and the step feels like distance, but is not quite distance. Your phone has a pattern to it now. Not 43 people. The 3 people who work for you, the 1 supplier above you, and Devin, who you still speak to occasionally for reasons that are more social than operational. The phone is both everything and nothing. The business runs through it, and the business cannot be traced through it because you are careful about what goes in writing and what stays verbal. You're making somewhere between $3,000 and $5,000 a week on a good week. This is the number that changes things around you without you meaning to change them. You move to a better apartment. You buy a car that is better than what a person in your official income bracket should drive, and you know this, and you keep it slightly under the threshold of what draws attention, because drawing attention is the thing you have been most careful about from the beginning. Your mother asks what you are doing for work. You tell her logistics, moving things from one place to another for a company you name vaguely. So she asks follow-up questions and you answer them with the fluency of someone who has been constructing this particular story for long enough that the construction feels natural. She believes you. You are not sure if she believes you. Level 6. The problems. The first serious problem arrives in the form of a phone call from one of your people at 11 on a Wednesday night. He got robbed. Not violently. Somebody he knew, somebody he trusted, walked away with $400 worth of product and is now not answering their phone. He is calling you because it is your product that is gone, and the money for it needs to come from somewhere, and that somewhere is him. You handle it calmly on the phone, and less calmly after the call ends because $400 is not the issue. The issue is that the product moved through a chain you built, and the chain has a weak link, and a weak link in this world is not a personnel problem. It is a security problem. It means someone outside the chain now knows something about the shape of it. You tighten everything. You cut 2 customers who have been making you uncomfortable for months. You change the phone. You have a conversation with each of your 3 people individually about what happened and what it means and what the standard is going forward. The second problem is slower and harder to address. One of your people has started using. Not heavily, not visibly, but you know what it looks like because you have been around it long enough and the signs are specific, and once you see them, you cannot unsee them. He is skimming. Small amounts. Keeping a little back from each transaction. You know what Devin would tell you to do. You know what the man whose name you do not know would tell you to do. You do neither of those things. You have a conversation with him in your car parked outside a retail park on a Thursday afternoon, and the conversation is direct and honest, and at the end of it, you give him 2 weeks to sort himself out, and you cover the shortage from your own margin. He does not sort himself out. You let him go and absorb the loss and tell yourself that is the end of it, and it is the end of it until you think about it at 2 in the morning, which you do more than you used to. Level 7. The police. You know something is wrong 3 weeks before anything happens. A feeling more than evident. The street outside your building has a different quality. A car you have seen before in a spot nobody uses. A face that appears in 2 different contexts on 2 different days, which could be coincidence and probably is not. You have been in this long enough to trust the feeling, and the feeling is telling you to slow down. You slow down. You reduce the volume. You tell your people that things are quiet for a while, and quiet means quiet. You do not explain why, because explaining why requires confirming that you have noticed what you have noticed, and confirming it to anyone is its own risk. The knock comes on a Friday morning at 7, 2 officers and a warrant, not armed response, not a raid. Just 2 officers with a piece of paper and the patient efficiency of people who have done this many times. They are polite, almost friendly. The friendliness is a technique, and you know it is a technique, and it works on you slightly anyway because you have been awake since 4, and the adrenaline and the politeness together produce a state that is hard to think clearly in. They search the apartment. They find very little because you moved everything 3 weeks ago. A small amount of weed, personal use level, nothing that requires explanation beyond what a young person in a flat might plausibly have. The scale is gone. The phone is a new one with nothing on it. The money is not here. They take you in anyway. For a conversation, they call it. The conversation lasts 4 hours and covers things they know, and things they suspect, and things they are trying to get you to confirm, and you do not confirm anything. You answer the questions you have to answer, and you do not answer the questions you do not have to answer, and at the end of 4 hours, they let you go without charging you. You walk out of the station onto a street in the early afternoon and stand on the pavement for a moment. Gray sky, ordinary traffic, people moving past with places to be. You have been doing this for 18 months. You have made more money than you have ever made in your life. You are 20 years old, and you have just spent 4 hours in an interview room and walked out, and the walking out does not feel like winning. It feels like the warning before the thing that does not let you walk out. You stand on the pavement for a long time, then you call Devin, then you stop calling Devin.